Hello people! A new video where I'm gonna be a little bit talking about operations and stuff. And how to be not good, but how to be better at operations and how to, be a good support to the team while doing operations and not be this guy. One of the things I want to talk about before that is, I can't believe I really say this, but we're here apparently. Feels like I'm back in random. Don't leave your flank. You want to protect this little boat over there, the Liberty ship. Here you have the goal of the year, you have your main goals. Reach the transport ship and we can escort them. That's your main goal. If you fail the primary goal, primary task, you lose the match. So be aware of this. So yes, there's that. So what I want to talk about are a few things, and some things are I'm going to talk about. I get that, but bear with me. Now, one of the things I want to say is, if you're new to operations, and they are gonna make operations soon a lower tier, back to tier 3 and tier 2, more as tutorials. I skimmed a little bit through the patch notes, I didn't read too much into them, but they're gonna serve as tutorials, and things like that. So, that's always great. Because we do need new people in operations, but we also need people who know how to be effective in operations. Now, one of the things that need to be said is for the most part, if you want to learn operations or want to be better, I'm gonna say something controversial here, but if you want to get good at operations or learn the primary operation tasks, play carriers or destroyers. Because if you make a mistake as a carrier, now I mean make a small mistake, right? I mean don't get yourself killed. That's not an operation, that's a huge mistake if you get yourself killed. But a small mistake that can happen, right? If you play a carrier, it's not as destructive as losing a battleship or a cruiser or a destroyer. If you play a destroyer, you make a mistake, you got that little bit, I got that escape thing where you got smoke screen and you can get out. English cruisers have that as well. Italian cruisers have that as well. But an Italian cruiser is gonna get spotted very, very high, right? It's not as low as a destroyer. So therefore destroyers can get closer than cruisers can, or battleships can. So there is that. Needless to say, if you do play a carrier, please know how to position. You need to also know how to position yourself. That's important to know. Now I will say one thing. If you do play a carrier or a battleship or a cruiser, whatever you do that you play, I don't judge. You have to be effective in your team play. If, for example, you play or you get Operation Aegis and you see a friendly battleship taking all the heat, and you play, for example, a cruiser crew for Preußen or what have you, you can also tell your friendly battleship to get away, and you will take some of the heat off of him. Not only does that help the team, but that also shows that you're willing to win the match, or at least trying to support the match, support the team, by being a very effective team player. It's important to know you can rely on your team. So that being said, let's talk about something else. Before I go into the other thing I want to talk about, I want to just mention that one thing that really is annoying to me, and that is annoying to all players as well. For some reason, the super ships are just random in their gameplay. I don't know what they're thinking sometimes. You know, with there is a new super ship coming out soon, the Japanese cruiser Kurama. You can get it in the anniversary event. I want it, I'm going for it. It's on the 11k tokens, so not too bad, right? But here's the thing. For some reason, this covers every super ship that I've come across in operations. They play a very odd strategy of being very egotistical, thinking that they can win the match solo or something. I don't know what they're thinking, but they all die. I don't mean dying is bad, but they all die first in like the first 6 minutes of the game. I don't get it, honestly, because, for example, right, you play, I don't know, the Haragumo, and for some reason the Annapolis that spawns with you, or the Conde, just whatever, and then dies. And they die while not contributing too much to the team, or contributing to anything at all. I've seen it often happen with Hanover's, Clausewitz, Annapolis, Mainz. I mean Mainz as in, and the American battleship main, and then, you know, there's multiple things I'm talking about, not the German cruiser Mainz, that's a different thing. But the main as the battleship mains, I don't know what they are thinking sometimes, the super ship players, but they're not thinking much about anything, I believe. Yeah, you spent 50-40 mil credits on a cruiser, but you still played like you're in tier 2. I don't know what you're thinking, if anything. Please stop. Now what I want to talk about is, I'm gonna making a series soon. After I'm going on vacation next month, in a few weeks, and after my return I'm gonna make a few videos or make a series about operations and contributing to how to be effective as an operation player, and maybe little tutorials about how to play this operation as a carrier, or as a cruiser, or as a destroyer, or as a battleship, or a submarine, and how to be effective while doing so. Because trust me, I play carriers, and I play submarines, and I play cruisers, and I play destroyers, and I play battleships, and I play everything. You do know that if something happens, you know, you can be a very helpful destroyer or a carrier, but you have to focus on the primary tasks, on the priority targets. Now, one of the priority targets is destroyers. Because most of us play through Operation Hermes, and we all get annoyed that nobody is protecting the Ruyan, and then Ruyan dies, and then you lose the game. That is annoying. And I'm not saying super ships that die protecting the Ruyan are bad. I'm not saying that if you die protecting the Ruyan, I'm not being mad at you, honestly. If you die being in Hanover or Napoli or whatever you play, and you protect Ruyan by taking the torps, and you die, you're good. You're good because no one else is doing it. What I'm talking about are the people who don't do that, right? The destroyers and the battleship spawn, and they go to the carrier because the carrier is an important target or something. I don't get it. But this is what I'm trying to say. If you do play Operation Hermes, the priority target is the destroyer. Yes, there's an Odin there, or there's a Mecklenburg there with the destroyers, but Mecklenburg or Odin are not scared, are not scary. The destroyers deal the most damage to Ruyan because the destroyers got these torpedo launchers ready. The Odin or the Mecklenburg has them as well, but 4 or 5 torpedoes don't do much damage as 7 or 9 torpedoes, right? Here's another thing. If you're a carrier player, focus on the destroyers. Because for some reason, battleship players or cruisers are not really interested in fighting the destroyers. They go for the Odin or the Mecklenburg first and knock. So if you're a carrier player, please have a favor and focus on the enemy destroyers. Because if you do, you're good. And because you damage the destroyers, they get low HP. And so some people will focus their shift from destroyer from the battleship to the destroyer. That's a plus in my book. Here's another thing. At the end of the Operation Hermes, there are more destroyers spawning. That three of them will go to cut the Ruyan off and launch torpedoes. If you play a carrier, don't go for an enemy carrier, leave the carrier alone. If you're playing carrier and you go for an enemy carrier, I don't know what you're doing. If I play a carrier, I go for the enemy destroyers first, at the end. They're damaged, and I don't know why, but some people do not want to go to the end of the map and harm the enemy destroyers. So they want to cut them off, right? Like if you play Alaska and you got radar, you can radar the enemy destroyers up. But for some reason, only 2 cruisers or something, or basically only 1 cruiser get there, and then the rest just focus on the carrier. And the destroyers are the priority target, not the carrier or the cruiser. So if you want to get better at operations and stuff, here's how you do it. Focus on priority targets, like the carrier, like the destroyers. Doesn't matter what you play, carrier, destroyers, marine, focus on the destroyers. If you get the map, what is it? If you get the map Battle of the Defense of Newport, right? Yes, in the first wave there are no destroyers, but in the second wave there are. In the third wave there are. Kill the destroyers first, and then you can go for the cruisers. If the destroyers aren't spotted, then yes, you can hit the cruiser. I'm not saying that. It's not like you should hold fire. No, don't do that. But if the destroyers get spotted, focus on them first. Because 9 out of 10 times it's the destroyer that gets to the base and the main offense starts. It's not often that the cruiser gets to the line first. So focus on the destroyers first and then you take out the cruisers. Even as a carrier, you do that, you know. Now, with Raptor Rescue, for example, if you do play if you do get Raptor Rescue, I can't pronounce Raptor Rescue, Jesus Christ. If you play Raptor Rescue, then one of the things you want to do, stay with Raptor. I don't know why, but for some reason, a lot of people, like sometimes 4 or 5 people, are going for the carriers. And that leaves 1 or 2 people with the Raptor. And you know, you don't want to be 2 people with Raptor. 2 people can go for the carrier. The rest can stay with Raptor. No, the main primary task of Raptor Rescue is escort the Raptor out of the battlefield. It's not that, hey, focus on every carrier in the game and let Raptor die. That's not the objective. You're thinking about Cherry Blossom instead of Raptor Rescue. So stay with Raptor. So that's that. And I'm not saying it's not okay to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. I make mistakes. Even you know, I'm gonna talk about years ago, but years ago when I was playing World of Warships back in the day, operations, you had time limit, you only had a weekly rotation. And you could only play, for example, Raptor Rescue as a T6. And if you played Graf Spee in the Raptor Rescue, you couldn't play Graf Spee in operation again for half an hour. There was a time limit. After 30 minutes you could play Raptor Rescue again with Graf Spee or whatever ship you played. And if you got 5 stars, you got 1 week premium time. That was back in the old days. And I played Rio, the Japanese carrier. And I played 2 matches Raptor Rescue before. It was the first time I played Raptor Rescue. And the enemies spawned on the east side. And I was playing in the third time I played Raptor Rescue, I was playing Rio, the carrier. And I thought the enemies spawned on the east side. I did not know that there were two spawns that could come from the carrier cruisers, east and the west. I'm talking about the west side, for example, or the southeast. So they came from the southeast 2 times, and on the third time I was scouting southeast. No, they're coming from the west side, but I didn't know that. It was my first time playing carrier inventory, and I was, oh my god, I got no idea what I'm doing. Of course, with the time, with the longer I played operations and the more I played carriers and stuff, I kind of understood that, okay, there are multiple spawns that can come from. But back in those days, I did not know. And that's fine. It's okay to make mistakes. If I make mistakes, if everyone makes mistakes, it's not bad to make mistakes. Everyone makes them. But you have to understand that certain mistakes are detrimental to the game. If you make a mistake with the battleship, like you go broadside to a Yamato or broadside to the Hanover, you get citadeled. It's okay to get citadeled, but it's not okay to, you know, if you take too much heat, that's a problem. That's what I'm talking about. If you make them, that's a mistake that some people can make, right? But if you die to the Hanover or something because you did not really do great, that's your mistake. And that's a detrimental mistake because now you really lost one battleship. Yes, you need to tank for the enemy, for the friendly Royan. I get that. But that's a little line, you know, because there are some other ships that can also tank. If you got low HP, don't tank. Let someone else tank for you. But that's what I'm saying. Focus on the priority targets. Focus on the destroyers. Focus on that first. In Cherry Blossom, just if you play Japanese battleship or English battleship, that's a great thing to do. You move once the Atago is killed. If it depends if it's secondary objective or not. Sometimes I have had moments where the Atago was not a secondary objective to kill, so I didn't go for the Atago. What I did, I set my nose. I was playing Yamato or something. I moved towards the aerodromes. And I lost my spotter. I switched to explosive shells and I destroyed the aerodromes by myself. If you got Yamato, you got 102k HP with the flag. That's a lot of HP. So you can take a lot of abuse and still win the match by just killing the aerodromes, because your team somehow will not always destroy the aerodromes. I don't know why they prefer. I mean, it's okay to kill the destroyers first. But if those are almost all dead, for some reason they will spawn new destroyers. They will go for those destroyers first. Sadly, Cherry Blossom is not an operation where there is no one secure thing that is spawning. No, they keep spawning. So just go for the aerodromes, because if you want to farm damage, do that in random, not in operations, right? There are plenty of other operations where you can farm damage. Cherry Blossom is not it. you can easily farm damage in what's it called again? Ultimate Frontier. That's where you can farm damage easily. You can't do it in Operation Time Blossom, so stop doing that. Just go for damage drones and get done with it. Another thing I want to talk about is a lot of people complain that Operation Aegis is too difficult. It's not really difficult, but you need a helpful team. And the big thing with Operation Aegis is a lot of people turn off their brain when it comes to Operation Aegis, or they don't know how to do Operation Aegis. So they're not gonna bother with Operation Aegis. But there's plenty of methods to easily beat Operation Aegis without too much bothering you. If you play a carrier, for example, there is a map you can draw. If you spawn here, just go like this. Keep attacking this, and then you go for this. If you are a submarine, you go here, you attack this thing, this attack wave. Do not ever let the attack wave spawn early. This also counts Operation Hermes, because that only harms you even more. Let the attack wave come later. They'll spawn eventually. Let it be. Then when this attack wave spawns, you attack this attack wave with your torpedoes, the submarine, and then you go for this convoy, and you're in the clear. Not that difficult. But the problem is that people that become impatient or whatever, or if you play the Pan-Asian cruisers like Harbin and Sion, they tend to spawn this attack wave early, and then you are screwed. But if you play Sion or Harbin and you got a destroyer with you, you can lay a smoke screen as Sion or Harbin, launch your torps to the attack wave, turn around, launch your other torps while in smoke screen, or your destroyer at least launches a smoke screen. You can communicate with the destroyer and say, hey, I'm gonna do this attack, gonna help by laying another smoke screen. You turn around, you use your torpedo reload booster, and here you go, you launch another set of torpedoes. That deals with 80% of the attack wave. It is just important to know that there are methods and strategies how to do this operation. It's just that not a lot of people don't bother with them. But you can easily beat Aegis without too much hassle. It doesn't need to be nerfs, Operation Aegis. The problem is that a lot of people who do play also submarines also go around this. Oh, oops. There is a problem that there are people in Operation Aegis who go around this island and sort of loop around and then attack. That's not how you do it. That's one of the biggest mistakes. Another mistake is that some people stick around this area for too long or this area for too long. Don't do that, you know, be helpful to your team. Don't go sit in the back and be like, oh, I'm gonna farm damage and no. Be helpful to your team. That's how you do Operation Aegis. So yes, the point I want to make here is if you play operations, fire the main priority targets, destroyers, cruisers, battleships. Fire at the destroyers first if they are there. They are the most important. Do not spawn the attack wave early. That's destructive to your team. Destroy minefields if you can. It's better to let that do the ship-based ASW, because if you do plane-based ASW, then there's RNG how many mines you destroy, and for example, a destroyer can just launch them easily, or a Dutch cruiser can launch them easily without too much problems, and that's done. Don't be a hero, I would say. Don't try to do everything alone. You can't do everything alone. You need a team because it is a team game. I know, very weird doing team stuff in a team game. That's very odd. But yeah, play like even if the operation sucks, right? Do not be like, I don't want to play, this mission sucks. No, you know, you have to play it for, you just play it as you do. Be helpful to your team. And if you play a super ship early on, don't be an egocentric egocentrist kind of person. Yes, Clausewitz is strong, but even Clausewitz cannot help to hold alone against HC spammers. That's one thing that you should know if you played for the Hindenburg line. That's all for today. Long video, I know, but I will make little tutorials sooner or later and talk about how you can be a better player in operations and teach you some of the tricks that I have used over the years. Yeah, because there are tricks that can be used to win easier, or, you know, like I said, the Jablosson. Players shoot, instead of shooting armor pieces into the aerodrome, shoot high explosive, you do more damage. Even if you play Yamato, you get shit on for shooting high explosive to enemy ships. But if you do it to the aerodromes, you're only helping the team and helping yourself. So, with that, I say goodbye. And with that, the video is done.